So for this time, I will try my best to not be too much technical, to not jump too much into the code. Actually, usually when I give the talk, we go deep dive into the code. But for this one, it's actually the first talk. I'm trying my best to stay a little bit high level. So we will see. And the goal for me is to share with you a journey of how we can use IT technology to help people. I will say to have our community more safe, to build a community resilience through technology. That's the idea for me. So I would bring you to the journey of building something in order to, I would say, quote unquote, save lives. And we will see if that makes sense. Okay, are you ready for that? Yeah. Okay, so it's not this one I'm going to use. I'm going to use that one. So before we dive into the topic, you're wondering who is this guy who's smiling, who's making, I will crack joke. I will hope you will smile. But who am I exactly? Yeah, I'm a father, first of all. That's something that I put. Usually I was putting that number 2, but now I'm putting that number 1. Why? Because I believe that being a father helped me, keep me a little bit honest, because I'm too passionate about the thing that I'm doing. As a software developer, I spend a lot of time, sometimes coding, and since I'm a dad, I'm like, I find a good, I would say, balance between work and life. Actually, work-life balance doesn't have to make sense. I would say we don't have to use that word. We just have one life, so we just have to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm proud of that, of 2 amazing kids, and also, like, I don't know if Etienne, you mentioned that before in your talk, part of that community of Google developer expert, and I would say my topic, even if it's not the only one that I'm doing, is more Flutter and Dart. And my day-to-day here in Montreal, every time you go into McDonald's, every time you go into Starbucks, every time you're doing your grocery shopping, any low, how you call it outside of Quebec, actually, because in Quebec it's Provigo. Outside is Loblaws, I think so. Yeah, Loblaws. Every time you're doing your grocery shopping, and also when you're at the airport, when you connect to the Wi-Fi, you want to connect to the Wi-Fi, is actually my team behind the scene who is showing you the captive portal and giving you access to the Wi-Fi. So that company is named Data Valley. So I'm the CTO, or you can call it the Senior Director of Software Development of that company. The HQ is based in Montreal, but we do have offices in Charlotte in the US, and we mostly working with Bell, TELUS, and in the US, AT&T. So I'm leading the software development department. And during my free time, I like playing the piano and doing music, beat making, all those kind of stuff. So maybe you have some artists who's singing with my melody, because I like doing that too. So that's me, right? Enough talking about myself. What I would like to do is to have you scan this QR code, so you will understand why I'm talking to you this morning, okay? Who's familiar with that city in the West Island? Come on, raise your hand. Pointe-Claire! Yeah, okay. So I'm living in Pointe-Claire in the West Island, right? And what you just scanned is something that the community sent to our home it was not last year, it was during the summer, actually. So it all starts with a simple safety document that you see from the local community, right? So as someone who's really busy, and also I don't really, I would say, taking great consideration what they're sending to my house, I was about to throw that one to the trash, to the recycle bin, right? So as I say, I invite you to scan it to go to the same journey that I went through. So I received that, it was a paper, it was not digital like you just did. And maybe for those of you who didn't scan it, because I guess maybe some people was like, we're not going to do it. So, so I have it here in front of you. So as you can see, right, what is that document? The document, well written in French and English. Proud Montreal, we speak both languages. So the document actually explains how to be prepared in case of emergency, right? I would say provide advice on having a plan, emergency planning, actually. And to be honest with you, when I saw that, like maybe some of you usually do, I was about to throw it to the trash. And yeah, I'm lucky because I have my daughter was like, no, Dad, don't do that. Let me read that document. So she started reading that, and I was like, oh, gosh. There's a lot of things in that document I'm not aware at all, right? Yeah, I'm aware of, you can call 911. That's good, actually. That's fine. We all know that. But what am I going to do if tomorrow we have a hurricane like those people in the US did in Point Claire? I have zero clue. Maybe I'm just going to grab my kids and be like, oh, let's do something. But actually, I don't know, to be fair honest with you. I don't know what to do. So the thing is, we find those safety documents boring. That's true. That's a reality. And very hard to engage with, right? I don't think I'm the only one with that. Sometimes we receive it and we're like, oh, it's boring, right? So if we find that boring, how can we expect the community to be prepared if something is really happening, right? It's not like people don't want to take care of their life. Actually, we do, but the way you want me to protect myself, the way you educate me, maybe it's not the right way to do so. So that's how, because I saw my daughter questioning me, she asked me 2 questions. I was like, I don't know. So I was like, there's something maybe to do there as a tech guy. So that's why I decided to build something that you will see and to have this talk, okay? So this presentation, what are we going to do exactly? I said in the beginning, I won't jump into the code. Etienne already shared a lot of code with you. So that's why I think they put it that way. One going deep dive and another one we high level. And usually we're together in some conference. I'm very proud and happy to have it as a friend. So in this presentation, what we're going to do, we will see how that safety document, I would call it now, a discarded safety document, and inspire me, or maybe inspire you, maybe inspire other people to build application, to use technology to build something, and we will build here a mobile application. And I will share with you the technical journey. My goal at the end is like when you go back home or you go in front of your computer, you have a clear understanding of which tools you can use to build those kind of applications. So I will guide you, I will bring you to the technical journey from the MVP to something that maybe tomorrow we will have some Canadians start using that. I will share with you at the end why. And how with people who's helping me build that, we integrate generative AI in that application. Where is the GenAI? To basically engage with people. And you will try the app, actually. I won't really do the demo. You will be the one trying the app. You will test the app, and I will share with you the future roadmap. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. I will say a couple words just about inspiration, because in the inspiration I give you kind of we call it usually elevator speech or to build a lean Canva, right? So I say in the beginning, and now I feel it I say it with my heart. It's not that people doesn't care about safety, right? We see a lot of people, I would say, let's use that word, even if it's kind of challenging, dying in the US in particular for the last month. It's not like they don't care about the safety. It's like we didn't find the right way to engage with them sometime to educate them. And during my early research online, so I told you how everything started with my daughter. Now, as a developer, I'm a developer. I sit down now before coding, as we do usually. We start coding. I was like, okay, let's step back a little bit, Boris. Do your research online before building something. Doing my research online, I found out there's a lot of app already in place to try to do the same thing. But when I started using those, I was like, I don't want to spend more than 2 minutes on the app, right? So the existing solution didn't find what I want to call the sweet spot to make the user stay in the app. And yeah, what else can I see here that I didn't tell you? Yeah, by addressing the problem, also because we have AI everywhere, talking about Gen AI, is it just there to ask questions and to have a good answer? I was like, okay, let's use it to build something. Maybe it would be kind of a game, but provide meaningful insight to the user, okay? So the unique value proposition, you will test the app, you will see all of those things when you will play with the app. What do I have in mind? What do I had in mind when I build the app? It's like those four things. You will have an interactive quizzes. So the quiz will be tailored to you, actually, to your profile, your level, what you know and what you don't know, where you want to improve. The customized checklist in order to be like, okay, maybe I would like to improve more my knowledge on the flood, maybe it's the hurricane, maybe it's the fire, maybe it's the earthquake, those kind of things. You will be like, okay, that's the one I would like to to master, tracking your progress through what you will see in the app we call now the survival IQ score. What is your survival IQ score? From 0 to 10, how much are you prepared in case of something is happening? Okay? So let me bring you to the journey. That's where I think as a tech people coming to the first now, you were like, okay, Boris, we understand the idea, the problem, we want to build it. So I'm jumping now as a tech guy, okay? Whoever used Flutter in the room? Who is mastering Flutter? Yeah, don't be shy. Keep your hands up. Okay. Okay, good. So yeah, Flutter was a natural choice building the app. And what I would try to do different in this talk is to give you the why, actually. It's not like just saying, oh yeah, we have Flutter, we have React Native, we do have maybe an option to build the app native way with iOS and Android. But if you come to me at the end of the talk, I'm sure you will ask me, Boris, why you pick Flutter. Don't tell us you Flutter GDE because it's kind of biased. Yeah, you will be right. So Flutter was a natural choice for me for this one because at the beginning, when I started about thinking about the app, I was like, I don't really know how I would like to engage with the customer, my end customer. Android, maybe. iOS, maybe. Web might be also a solution. So with that in mind, I was like, since I don't know, as a developer, let's just start with something that I believe tomorrow, if I need to pick my poison, I already have a framework who will help me do that. So that's where Flutter was good because cross-platform development from a single code base. Another thing was like, okay, I'm not mastering Android. I'm not an Android developer. I'm not an iOS developer. I don't have this, I would say, appetite with designing, spending time building the UI. I'm not a UI guy, actually. I just love coding, talking about it, thinking about the logic, DevOps, playing with the cloud. So it was more about picking a framework where we could have a rapid UI iteration. That's also why I picked Flutter there. So Flutter was the natural choice using the latest version, the Flutter 3.2024. Another thing also, we have Python, Java, Kotlin, TypeScript to build, I would say the backend to call your services. And it was like, okay, I would like to go a little bit fast with this one because the goal at the end is to have users. The goal at the end is not just to build an app as we do usually and we just have it somewhere in our computer and we're proud, we're flexing like, oh, we built something. No, the goal for this one is to actually maybe help Canada and the US. So it was like, okay, what can I pick? And giving myself a challenge, a target, like in a week, I have all those things in my mind being ready. So if I pick something where I'm not really good just because the back end, stuff that I want to do and maybe flex that I'm an expert in Go and some other thing, it would take me a time. I'm talking about having an idea and build something to the community. So for the back end, decided to go with something that will ease the back and forth between the front end and the back end. So picking the same ecosystem with Dart, so using Dart and Flutter for the front end, so I decided to stick with the same ecosystem, the same language. So the back end here is built with Dart Frog. Who ever heard about Dart Frog before? I have two people in the back. So Dart Frog is the natural choice if you want to build with Dart. Right, for the back end, you can build your microservice, deploy it in the cloud, running cloud run, and it will give you as I said earlier, the power here is like you're keeping the same ecosystem from the front and the back. It's the same thing we're doing actually with Node.js in the back, and we can name a lot in the front end. I'm not going to name them, but you understand my point, right? And as I say, since Dart is used in the front end, we will get a seamless integration between the front end and the back end. And something that I put there is bottom left, is Mesos. Mesos is a tool that will help developers, is helping customer and company that is adopting this kind of approach today to ensure that if they have a single monorepo, because the goal here is to have everybody building, coding in the same code source, and using the same Git repository. So we're talking about one repository. So you have your front end, it's a mobile app, maybe not, it's a cross-platform application, and you have your back end built with that Frog, and you need a way to, I would say, share packages between the front end and the back end. So that's where Mesos is coming into the mix, and it will help us, right? We manage this unified code base in the single monorepo using, I say Melos, my bad. Does that make sense for you? Good. So another secret weapon that I've used here, and bear with me, right? That's I say, I want this talk to not be too much technical. It's a developer sharing his journey with you, and you're like, okay, at the end, we can just pick this brand and apply it. I would like to have an app in 2 months to be ready for the market. I'm not saying something running just in my phone. So I would like to go fast. I'm not a UX and UI guy. I'm not a designer, none of them. But at the end of the day, when I will engage with the customer, they have to be like, wow, that's beautiful. Instead, before touching the app, they need to be like, oh, we like it. How I'm going to do that? So that's where Flutter Flow came to the mix. I share with you a quick demo of Flutter Flow. Who ever heard about Flutter Flow before? Oh, people, good. Do you use it? So you heard it, you didn't use it, right? So Flutter Flow, as I say, is a secret weapon for rapid prototyping. So not being a UX expert, who is a UX expert? So same thing, right? So you basically understand my point here. It helped me quickly design the user interface. I sit down with my daughter who's like those colors, like, oh, it's beautiful, it's not beautiful. It makes sense for you? Okay. My boy too came, oh, no, that color is ugly. Okay, I changed. Oh, that it thought that it was good. I shared with friend, was like, no, it's not beautiful. So experimenting different layouts and validate the core concept. I wanted to say 2 days, we don't take a week, just 2 days. We reach a point where we say, okay, that makes sense. And the best part, as a developer, is actually where the demo is right now. Even if you're an expert in Flutter and any framework you will pick, the goal here, as I say, is let's give ourselves a challenge, 2 days. So I have that UI is already ready for me. Could I export the code and start from there? So that's where Flutter Flow comes to the mix and really interesting. So you can export the code, or you can just take inspiration from there, because you will see of the layout that Flutter Flow will give you, you can just basically take inspiration and start building, right? You don't master the framework. You don't know which component to use. But the idea for you is to go fast, so Flutter Flow will kind of guide you, and we give you already the layout that is kind of perfect. Another secret weapon, Google AI Studio. Allow me to ask the same question. Who ever heard about it? Use it. Okay, so we only have 2 this time. Why are we using Google AI Studio? Everybody's talking about AI. We want to integrate GenAI in our app. I'm not a machine learner, I'm not an expert there. But the thing that I would like to ensure, and bear with me, I bring my daughter in the conversation because that's where everything could be really, 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 really complicated. We want to build an interactive quiz. We're going to build a questionnaire for people. I would like to ensure that when kids will take the quiz, can I really trust what the AI will generate as a question? That's where we need to be sure that we take that in consideration. So I'm going to Google AI Studio, and I do what you see now in some job posts. How good are you in prompt engineering? Right? That's where you master your prompt engineering skills. Which question I'm going to ask you, which input I'm going to give you to have, quote unquote, a perfect output. That's where Google AI Studio is coming to the mix. So I'm drafting the input. I validate if the output is good. Let me go back again and play this demo, because there's a part that I would definitely want you to see. And I think it's maybe to the end. You will see, I speak and I let you see the video. You will see a part where you can fine tune the safety settings right to the studio. And that part, I will say, take that in consideration. Which kind of content are you able to generate? Do we want to expose any kind of sexual things, any kind of thing that could harm people? That's where you need to be very careful, and you play with that in the tool, right? So you see the kind of output, and if you trust that, now you can integrate in your app. And the same thing, as a developer, don't forget to want to go fast. We're talking about having an MVP quickly. How can I integrate that quickly also in my app? So with Google AI Studio, you have a way to get the code. You have many languages integrated there, and Dart is also part of that. So from there, boom, you go and you have a snippet to start quickly. So we're talking about prototyping. Does that make sense for you? So I'm taking a moment because I've seen a lot of apps, a lot of people, we're building GenAI. We're just calling the AI and it's generating the content. You need to be very careful now about the audience. Which people are going to use those apps? So that's where I will definitely be very honest with you if I say I spend where I spend the majority of the time coding the app as a developer was in this tool. I don't like this output. Oh, I'm scared about this output. Oh, maybe people won't understand my goal. So I need to be sure that I put kind of a guardrail what the AI will generate. Make sense? Good. Up. Come on, come on, come on. I lost the... Okay, good. Journey with the cloud. So we talk about Flutter Flow. We talk about Google AI Studio. We have the prototype. We know how we're going to integrate with AI. Okay, Google, Gemini, let's say that. Now how we want to deploy the app, because at the end of the day, as a developer, it's cool, flex, we know how to build, but at the end of the day, we need to publish the app somewhere. It's not just publishing in production, but also make it available for people across the globe. So yeah, the cloud computing is there to help us being part of the GDE community. Definitely I'm going with Google Cloud. So that's where the journey with Google Cloud came into the mix. What am I doing here? What are we doing here? Just to streamline the deployment process, okay? Whatever you're deploying on GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, whatever you want to do, just ensure that you have a perfect way when you push in production. I'm sure I'm not learning you something here. Your DevOps will come to the mix. Maybe we have DevOps people here. So that's where Google Cloud was kind of crucial for me. So I streamlined the deployment process. I would like to have the logic, the backend that I present to you, be ready for everybody, wherever they are in Canada, say in the US. So we pick here microservices deploy in Cloud Run, right? And you see in the demo, it says support, go back again. I play it when I'm talking. There is support where doing audited a lot of code. We're talking about protecting the API keys, talking about ensuring that we hide the secret, the sensitive data that we're using. People are doing a lot of, yeah, we have maybe your secret way of doing that, the way to manage that. With Google Cloud, actually using the product called Secret Manager. So going to the platform, when the build is happening, all those keys, the key to connect to Firebase, we will see later, the key to talk with Gemini is not on my computer, it's not in the GitHub repository, is actually in Google Cloud. And it's available only when I do the build, right? So that's the part where you also need to take in consideration. After saying all that, we talk about Flutter Flow, we talk about Google AI, we talk about Google Cloud. It's 2 weeks of development. Now, up another part that need to come to the mix, Firebase. I hope everybody will raise their hand. Who ever heard about Firebase? Actually, let's change the question. Who is the first time? Oh, really? That's good. So that's good. We have some people who's brand new to that. And so people who heard about it, do you use it? Okay, that's where sometimes the use is kind of different. Okay, so same thing here. We like to go fast using Firebase. I'm not going to only talk for the two people in the room, but I'm sharing with you my journey. Why am I using Firebase? Remember in the beginning, talking about building the MVP and ensuring that whether my user will use the phone, whether it will be the web, I would like to ensure that everyone can use the app. So the app that you will test is deployed on the web. So I'm using Firebase hosting there to deploy the web application. For the data it's kind of a trick and difficult question nowadays, like which database, which structure we are using for the backend. Talking about the MVP, we like to go fast. I pick here Firestore. Why? Because no SQL approach. And I would like to ensure that as soon as Gemini will generate the quiz, good integration with Firebase, I can store them directly. And obviously, at some point, I need to identify who's using the app. So Firebase or authentication through Google Auth. So just to recap, 3 services provided by Firebase. Number 1 is the hosting platform. When I say the hosting, it's like as soon as you connect to the app, the deployment, we host the app on Firebase hosting. The backend connect with the database is Firestore, and the authentication layers is Firebase Auth. So quick recap. All those pieces together, what is the architecture? I would say simple architecture. It's really simple architecture. So the app names actually is already safe for your safety. So the API is connecting to Cloud Run that is deployed in Google Cloud. The code is Dart there. I say for Firebase, I can put the hosting for already safe, but actually I just put those 2 services in the Firebase box. So the Auth Firebase and the backend for Firestore. And again, your key to Gemini is something that I see a lot of people doesn't really secure those keys, because for a long moment the connection to Gemini was kind of, I would say, free to those LLM model was kind of free trial, but you need to be very, very careful. So as I say, the key is only available during the build and is in the Cloud Run. So that's the architecture of the project. Do you find it difficult if I pause a little bit here? Make sense for you, the architecture? Good. I talked about the app, but I would like you to play a little bit with the app so you understand. It won't be a demo me demonstrating, it would actually be you. You scan the code, the QR code, and you will experience the app. Are we in time?
30 minutes.
It's good, right? So I can give them like a 1 or 2 minutes to take 1 or 2 quizzes in the app.
Right. 30 people trying your app at the same time. Yeah.
That's more than that, I think so.
Oh, great.
But that's good too. I like it. Okay. So again, as I said, this time was not me sharing the code, going into the detail. So it's kind of also a challenge for me because I would like to code. I would like to show the code. But you tried? Good. Okay. So you being quiet, you focusing on your phone, I'm kind of happy. And I would pause here and I will say, I'm an advocate of software. I love it. I'm passionate about it. But I found, that's why when I talk with all those guys, we sit in the room, it's something that maybe I didn't mention in the beginning. I'm also part of Google Developer Advisory Board. What does that mean? So sometimes I sit down around the table. I won't name a name because I have an NDA. We talk about what we want developers to do. We need to build things to help people. We need to build things that have an impact. We need to build things that people really use. We're tired of people saying, I know how to code in Python. Well, why are you coding in Python? What is the goal behind the scene? What are you trying to achieve? right? That's something also I was like, we need to understand that. We need to have an impact, not just being dev or software developer because it's fun, it's cool, and we have a lot of money. No, it's not about that. It's about also bringing the community, changing the world in some way. And I stopped there because I don't want to launch any controversial talk. Okay, so that was the goal here. You play with the app, and what I would like to do is, yeah, we go to that a little bit together. So we're starting with a simple Google sign-in that you did. I think you saw it. I hope everybody got a Google Auth. And I hope it was not a typical boring questionnaire at the beginning. And you all have something. It's like, what is your survival IQ score? You keep it for you. Don't share it. If someone had 100%, good. If people think that they need to improve, I hope you will understand now the goal behind. The first time I took it, I don't want to share my score, but it was kind of bad, right? And you want to improve your IQ score, you take the quiz, talk to you, what you think, where you think that maybe you need to improve. And I'm behind the scene, make sure that you all will learn something that is new and relevant for you. That's where GenAI is coming to the mix. Do you think that I spend time mastering all those safety scenarios? No, I'm not. Who am I to know all the thing about the earthquake, the hurricane? So that's where the AI was there to help me, right? We took a week to ensure that all those scenarios we kind of master, and the AI will generate those for you. Now, when I say the AI will generate the quiz based on your knowledge, bear with me because that's a kind of a secret sauce. I would like you to think, I won't share the code, but it's kind of a secret sauce. If we are in Canada, maybe we don't really care about a hurricane because we don't have it. If you spend your time testing your IQ score on the hurricane, because not really relevant for where you are. So based on where you are, actually, we want the AI to help you, to be your companion. Okay, if you're going to Florida, if you're going to Georgia, if you're going to Quebec, if you're going to British Columbia, based on what they're trying to do to have a safe community, maybe those kind of quiz we need to do. And without the AI, to be fair honest with you, will be very difficult. Okay, so that's kind of a magic behind the scene. And you see, maybe some of you tried the survival IQ score. If I emphasize a little bit on the survival IQ score, think of it as your emergency preparedness report call, right? Where are you good? Where are you not good? And you can imagine tomorrow, if it makes sense, we'll have a lot of scenario, right? So the system will break down your preparedness for different emergency scenario. That was my score, actually, 20% on the floor. Whoosh. Yeah, because I didn't grow up where the floor, in the country where the floor was actually there. In Canada, I don't remember if we really had it. But if I go some part of the world, they will be like, in some Iceland, they will be like, that's exactly where you need to improve your score, right? So just to share with you. So the challenge, I always say dev challenge. I'm going back, put my developer hat. What was the challenge? The challenge, as I said in the beginning, was the quiz generation quality control. Here, people doesn't really notch. It's like, oh, no, the quiz makes sense for you. The app is also designed for teenager, so we need to ensure that the quiz, the quality, maintain educational value, all right, while being engaging. That's a goal also there. The survival IQ score algorithm. Now that I'm that phase where we're trying to fundraise, to talk to investors, to build a company, to bring people on board, the survival IQ score algorithm is not easy as you think. It's really difficult. I don't want to say to someone, oh, you're 9 to 10. And it's like, oh, I'm good, but actually it's not good. So we need to be very careful on those things, right? Those kind of information we're giving to people, we need to be sure that it's meaningful and accurate. So find a weird balance between question difficulty, response time, topic relevance. Where am I missing here? Yeah, the state management also. When I say state management complexity here, I'm talking more about developer building the mobile app. The app became more complex. Maybe you have the same experience if you're already building with Android, React Native, whatever. No matter the framework you're using, here with Flutter is also something really challenging as soon as we incorporate the real-time scoring update, achievement tracking, the quiz progress. We need to ensure that the app stay kind of lean. So it was challenging for me, even if You can call me GDE. You don't mind. It doesn't matter. We're going to face the same problem and ensure that the app is smooth. And the deployment on the, I would say, in production. That's where, as developers, sometimes we hit the wall. We have something that is cool, we love it, and when we say, okay, do you know how to put that application in production? Because the production problem are actually the real problem that will make you go, I would say, improve your skill. So deployment pipeline, securing the deployment, ensuring that the secret is kind of, I would say, safe, was another challenge for me as a developer. I hope those challenges resonate to you, because you, even if you're a student or maybe not a student, you will face those kind of things. Okay, let's share with you the roadmap quickly, just to, before we wrap up, I wrap up the talk. So you just play with an MVP of that application that started in the summer. Just came back from Alena, Atlanta. We say Alena, Atlanta, Google Atlanta. So you kind of can say now it's an MVP, nearly completion. The goal as developer is having people understanding, play with that, while we perfect the AI generated quiz and maintaining the quality into that. The next challenge, I would say the next major step is the green one there. The app that you play with, behind the scene, the way to interact with Gemini is not really good. It's a prototyping. Why am I saying that's prototyping? Using Google AI Studio, validating, doing the prompt engineering the way I share, ensuring that the quiz is good, putting that in the code is really a prototyping way of doing things. We need to use the power of the cloud, if it's Google, if it's Azure with the Copilot things, or Amazon, to ensure that the way the LLM will, I would say, support those requests is kind of efficient. So we have next major step, the way to improve the app is to move from the official Dart library, just connect with Gemini, to a solution, I would say, more cloud native. So using Vertex to interact with Firebase, everything is secure. That's more, I would say, a production-ready approach of building the app. Does that make sense for you? And while the app, I would say, is more designed for North America, because living in North America, if some people outside of North America were playing with the app, we'll be like, okay, you have those cases, maybe it's not, doesn't make any sense for us. So the next major step is to scale in the world, more region specific. So that's it. I think that led me to the end of my talk. Just sharing that because kudos to her, my daughter. Without her, I didn't gonna build the app. So I promise every time I'm doing the talk, her being the number one first beta tester of the app. So that's it, folks. Connect with me online. Yeah. Thank you. Let's connect with me. The number one target where I will say I give the response quickly. There's a lot of social network platform. I'm not good at it. It's LinkedIn, right? Also connect with me at the end, because I believe that this kind of event is to also ensure that people is looking for a job. So since in the company, we just had another job post yesterday. And yeah, I hope you found this talk meaningful. It was challenging for me because I like coding, actually, live coding, all those kind of things. But I try my best now to share also the value of being a developer. It's not just to spend time coding, mastering, especially because we have AI now. Where do we sit? Do we spend time mastering the Golang, the JavaScript, or are we asking the AI to generate those for you? I will close this talk with the following. The relation between a father and the kids, between the senior and the junior, between the mentor and the mentee is the one that, as a developer, I believe we need to understand, and this relation we have the AI. What does that mean? At the end of this conference, some of you will ask me questions. It will depend on the way you ask me your question, the way you formulate those questions. I will be able to answer to you quickly. Maybe some of you will have to articulate twice, to rephrase it third time, and I will give you the answers. That's the same thing that we're having with the AI. The way you're asking your question, that doesn't mean you're dumb. No. You need to master it in order to be like, give me the quick answer, the right answer. As soon as you reach that point, that's why I'm saying the relation between the kid and the father. Say it again, say it again, say it again, say it again. It's mastering, it's learning, it's improving. The junior is senior, say it again, I didn't get it. As soon as you know how to add the right question to have the good answer. That's how it goes, Michael. Thank you, everyone.